Plain and simple, you were not raised to be a man. We were not raised to be men in this country, in this culture. We were raised to be safe for women.
What up, guys? Welcome to my reaction series. So on this channel, we have talked a lot about the issues with modern mothers and how most mothers really aren't good people. And today we are actually hearing it from the horse's mouth. There is a video talking about we were raised by women who hated men. So let's see what this guy has to say.
Let me say something that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. And by a lot of people, I mean women. So a lot of us men, if not all of us here in the West, were raised by women. But
yeah, because even if you're in a two-parent home, the mom usually is just in your ear more.
We were raised by women who didn't actually like men. And now I don't mean just
yeah, and that's always what's in your ear. It's like, don't trust men. Which is kind of crazy because women are the trustworthy one, or sorry, men are the trustworthy ones. Women are the deceitful ones. And it's actually insane when you think about it. Like, even the fact that women think they're going to be used for sex is just automatically assuming bad intent, when I would say most young men want to stay with the girls they're sleeping with. Like, I mean, obviously there's the Chad like running through, but like out of 10 men, more men I think want commitment than women.
Just your mom, right? I mean the entire ecosystem. Moms, teachers, counselors, therapists, daycare workers.
Yeah, correct.
Church staff, you name it, we were told by those same women to grow up and be a gentleman, to be kind and respectful and protective and safe. We heard that a lot. But there's a
caveat. Yeah, and that's like automatically assuming they're unsafe,
caveat with that. You were never to be too assertive, right? Never too confident or too masculine. In other words, be the thing they hated, just behave better. Let me repeat that. Be the thing they hated, just behave better. I mean, of course, the first woman who ever loved you, it wasn't your girlfriend or crush. It was your mom. Or maybe she didn't love you. I don't know. So,
yeah, I don't think most mothers love their kid. I think most women have children for their ego. They want to fit in with their friends. They want social status in the group. I don't think most women like the best thing you can do to a kid is like raise it, do a good job, leave it alone. And if you did a good job, the kid will actively want to spend time with you.
Those exist. So especially the ones that really hate dudes. But yeah, I mean, let's say, your dad was either gone, he was weak, he was abusive, or, disrespected in the home. I mean, that love came with strings. So, and those strings are that men are dangerous, right? They're selfish. They are the problem. And you may have heard, don't be like your father.
Yeah, you're just like your father. Oh my gosh, I heard that all the time growing up. And I love my dad now. I'm like, that's awesome. I'd love to be like my dad. If I could be like a 10th of how awesome my dad is, that would be really cool.
You didn't just learn that love had conditions. No, you learned that you, as a boy, were guilty until proven safe.
Yeah, that's so true. And that's how they treat women or tell women to date. I remember when I was a kid, like my mom would tell me, don't get a boyfriend in high school. Don't get a boyfriend in high school. And I was ugly. So I was like, Mom, nobody's asking. But it's kind of ironic because she got a boyfriend right after high school and then had kids, and they started a company and it was really successful. Like, I'm like, why, like why would that be the advice?
This wasn't love, not at all. It was early stage programming. That's what you experienced, and it taught you to be ashamed of your masculinity and to be ashamed of it before you even understood what it was. We were told.
You can kind of see the sadness in his eye. Like, there is nothing worse than somebody who's wasted time because they were lied to and they took the wrong information.
To control our emotions, You were told, hey, control your emotions, control them. But you weren't
It's
taught
so crazy because women are the ones who can't control our emotions. It's not men.
how. You were taught to simply suppress them, especially anger. Never let that cat out of the bag. Mm-mm. You were told to respect women, but not to respect yourself when a woman disrespected you. You were
Yeah, and women are not told all the subtle ways we disrespect men. We do it all the time. All the time. And it just kind of shows how the society just caters to women over and over.
told to be kind and be gentle, but you weren't taught how to say no without fear of rejection or punishment.
That's the worst thing that mothers do. That's like the worst thing that mothers do is they make you feel guilty if they guilt you if they don't get their way.
Plain and simple, you were not raised to be a man. We were not raised to be men in this country, in this culture. We were raised to be safe for women, to be safe for women. And if you stepped outside those lines, you got hit with the ultimate insult. Possibly. You're acting just like your father. Right? You heard that one before? You're acting just like your father. But let's talk about numbers here. Let's talk about, school for a second. Over 76% of K through 12 teachers in the US are women. In early education, it's over 90%.
God help these kids. I mean, we can't even control our own emotions, and then we torture the children.
From the moment you step into a classroom, you are placed in a behavioral system designed by women, for girls. Boys they're just outnumbered, they're outcultured. You're expected to, sit still for hours, use your inside voice. Never interrupt, no, never talk back, never challenge authority, always be obedient. But what's actually happening is,
And it's crazy because that's the things women should be taught. Like men are trained to be what women should be, and women are being trained to be men. So it's like everything's inverted.
is that normal male behavior is being pathologized.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're, I've heard this one when I was 9. If you're too energetic, you have ADHD. My 9th grade teacher, Mrs. Tinsley,
And they put you on drugs as a kid.
thought I had ADHD because in the middle of social studies, I learned how to do this and was super excited about it and kept doing
Aww.
it. So, and I didn't have ADHD. I was just, the doctor said, no, he's just a 9-year-old. So hats off to that doctor. But yeah, I mean, you're assertive. That means you're aggressive. If you disagree, that means you're oppositional. And if you're fidgety, then you're disruptive, right? And what happens to boys in this system? They adapt by shrinking. I've talked about this. They or they rebel and get punished for it. Either way, the message is clear. Boys, your nature is a problem.
And we make men feel so bad for just being men. Like if if they like young hot women, we make them feel bad. If they want to have sex a lot, we make them feel bad. If they tell us no, we make them feel bad. It's like women are just the CEOs of nag, and it's family dynamics. It's literally school dynamics. It's every institution.
By the time you hit adolescence, your default mode is appeasement. Say sorry when she's upset. Do whatever makes her comfortable. Never raise your voice. Never assert your needs. Never take up too much space. Don't be manspreading now. You're not operating from strength. You're performing for approval, because deep down the programming says if you're good enough, she won't leave, and if you're soft enough, you'll be safe, right? But that's not love. That's fear-based compliance, just dressed up as virtue. The same women who instilled this fear told you to be a gentleman, right? Ironically enough, hold the door, pay for my meal.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's inverted when you think about it, because true femininity is women serving men. That's like the natural order of the world. So, if anything, the women should pay for the dates. If I would say that's more traditional than a man doing it, because whose time's more valuable, the man or the woman's? When the man pays, it implies the woman's is. Obviously, there's social norms, so that's never going to happen. Like men are always going to pay for dates, but you know, I actually think it's like I almost think it's more traditional, the woman working than the man. Now I know. Hear me out. Hear me out. Because women have such easy jobs that it's like she's giving her paycheck to him in a way. But I know it's tough to follow, but like when the man is paying for everything, he's like worshiping the woman. And it would be one thing if women were like submissive, had his kids, but like most women are basically men. So half the time you get a housewife, she's lazy. So it's not like the woman is really usually making the man's life much easier. I mean, they're even saying that he has to work and do the chores.
Protect her, listen without speaking, sacrifice your needs. And then in return, disrespect when you set a boundary, accusations when you assert yourself, emotional manipulation when you withdraw, and rejection when you stop playing nice. See, it was never about mutual respect. It was about behavioral compliance, okay? You don't get applauded for being a good man. You get used. You get used and abused until you stop performing. And, we talk about feminism like it's somehow confined to just college or social media. But its more formative influence happens at home. It happens in the home. Single moms projecting their unresolved anger at men onto their sons. Married women belittling their husbands in front of their kids. Daughters that are...
Yeah, no, married women do that all the time. They always are challenging. Like, I saw this video of a woman, her husband left, and she redecorated his whole like man cave and like made it more like it looked on paper better, but I just kept thinking, I can't believe this woman has the audacity to like redecorate his personal space without asking. Like women treat men like they're not even human. I would feel so violated like if somebody came and redid my whole room without asking me.
Learning to be dominant and sons learning to submit. I mean, you grew up thinking that love meant being agreeable, being needed, being useful. And now as a man, I mean, this day and age, man, you're saying yes when you want to say no. You let women walk all over you. You try to be the safe guy, right? And wonder why they don't respect you. You've been domesticated, dude. You've been tamed. You've been turned into a service animal. And dude.
And that's what they're trying to convince men to do. It's almost like Adam and Eve all over again, because women are trying to convince men to serve them, and the ones that fall for it ruin society.
Emotionally neutered men, they can't lead. The system just creates overthinking men, over apologizing men,
Neurotic men,
respected men, men with no fire or voice or edge, men who ask for permission to simply exist. You don't know how to lead because you were never allowed to in the first place. You don't know how to confront because you were punished for it. You don't know how to hold frame in a relationship because the only frame you know is make sure she's happy or you'll lose everything. A lot of men are just walking on eggshells in relationships right now, especially marriages, where they have everything to lose in the marriage and in the divorce, whereas the woman has everything to win and to gain from both.
And, men provide us value just from dating us. Like, you get, if he's good in bed, you get that, you have someone to like talk to, listen to their problem. Most of the time, men, I mean, we don't add much to their life. Like, even if you cook and clean, most men can do that for themselves. We need them way more than they need us.
But yeah, you were told masculinity is dangerous and that strength is oppression, that assertiveness is aggression. But the truth is that the absence of masculinity is the real danger. If you want to see real chaos, go to a school with no male teachers. Go to a household with no strong father. Go to a neighborhood where men are absent and boys are raised by the state. You don't get order. You get complete and utter dysfunction. And why? It's because there's something missing. And no, ladies, it's not empathy. It's edge. It's masculinity. That's the antidote, not the disease. So men, you want your strength back? You want to break the spell? The voice in your head that says, don't make her uncomfortable, don't be scary, don't take up space, don't make her mad. Dude, that is not your intuition. That's programming, dude. That's your programming. You are not here to be a pet. You're here to build and to protect and to lead, to say no and mean it. You don't need her permission to be a man. You need your own conviction. I mean, we got to talk about healing without simping. So yes, heal, but stop confusing healing with neutering. Healing isn't...
That's funny. Women don't really need to heal. Men are the ones that need to heal. Like, women always talk about healing, but in a way, men need to heal more than women because they're the ones that are like put down in society. It's not women.
Healing isn't turning into an emotional golden retriever.
No, it's like grabbing your balls, basically.
It's not crying for attention or saying I'm in therapy like it's a badge of honor. Healing is regaining your power. It's learning how to feel anger without shame, and it's learning how to love without losing yourself. Learning how to lead without apologizing for it. You don't heal by appeasing, you heal by confronting. It's action. That's the action that needs to be taken. Plainly put, you weren't raised to win. You were trained to lose with grace.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And everything with women at work, like, men are kind of trained to be slaves. It's kind of crazy because they always said women were slaves, but men, who's enslaved if one has to die in battle if the country goes to war?
To get cheated on and stay quiet, to get disrespected and be the bigger man, to get alienated from your child and be grateful for scraps, to carry everyone's burdens and call it strength. That's not nobility. That's servitude with a smile. So if you feel confused and bitter and angry, good. Your soul's waking up. Rise and shine. You're not broken. You're not toxic. You're a man who finally sees what was done to him. You're finally seeing it, man. So yeah, fellas, if this hits, send it to another man who's been, sleepwalking through his life. He doesn't need another lecture. He needs to hear the truth. It's time to stop chasing her approval, fellas. It's time to stop apologizing for being a man.
Yeah. Wow. That was really good. And it's complicated. Commented. He said, why is masculinity even an issue when men are hated for being too masculine and not masculine enough? I always hated how anger was treated as evil. Even as a child, I remember thinking those guys who say happy wife, happy life just sound pathetic. My mother hated my dad, especially after the divorce. So once he was out of the house, the hate was directed at me. I'm glad I cut her out of my life when I grew up and became a husband and a father, and will never speak to her ever again. Wow. I was a good little boy for 20 years and got nothing. Now it makes sense. By adolescence, your default programming is appeasement. Yeah, because what happens is the mothers are they always get upset over everything. And everybody's trained to like appease the mom and appease the sisters. My mother showed a hatred for men my entire life at age 45. I finally confronted her about this and explained that her hatred showed her in the way that she treated me. Her response, F you, in which she stormed off into the basement, slammed and locked the door behind her. For the first time in my life, I actually felt relieved. I don't want to talk about it too much on camera, but I had a similar experience. And it's worse because mothers are two-faced. So a lot of times, like, people think, like, they don't understand what you're talking about with the mental, like, torture they put you through. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. Maybe I'll talk about it more probably in a few years, not now, but anyways, guys, if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, I love you. Thanks for watching. Go to theaudacitynetwork.com if you can to support me. I'd really appreciate it. I don't know how long I'll be allowed on here because women rule society and they'll try to get me kicked off eventually. So if you can, $10 a month, $80 a year in case I get kicked off would be great. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.